Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Movement Radio. I am Chip Hazard.
I'm Talon Williams,
And I'm Roger Sierra.
and it is week 12 of
Yes.
Are You Ready for Some Football right here on Movement Radio. I had to
Yep.
make sure because we've been doing this for a while. But before we get into that, how'd you guys feel about week 11 as a whole?
It's probably been the best Thursday night game of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the
It-
primetime games were good this week. Even the
Uh,
even the Sunday nighter. You mean
I don't know
despite
about
despite what you think about the teams, I thought the game was pretty exciting to watch.
No. See, I thought that the Monday Nighter was the worst of
Yeah.
the primetime games.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to get into it. Let's go ahead and let's jump on the first game. But of course, we're going to kick it off with the Thursday nighter. Excuse me, the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Ravens win 34-20 in a game that really just showed how good the Ravens are. But on the flip side, Joe Burrow did suffer, was it a wrist injury, if I'm not mistaken? And
Shine injury.
listen to this guy.
Yeah.
So Joe
Season-ending-
Burrow, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was a season-ending hand injury, is what they're
Yes.
saying. They're not. They're being very vague about that.
Yeah. And of course, Jake Browning is going to be the new starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals moving forward. How that affects their playoff
no, they
chances?
just-
Oh, did they sign
they-
somebody else?
They just signed the kid from the XFL. God, what was his name?
Mhm.
Uh,
I couldn't tell you. I can go to Cincinnati's depth chart real quick and look it up real quick.
Yeah, they just signed a kid from the XFL. I seen it today, and I cannot remember the guy's name.
Okay, well that's not telling me anything because I went straight to Cincinnati Bengals and it
Yeah,
just says
he's not on the depth chart yet.
yeah, he's not on depth
Okay.
chart yet. Unless they
He
just
may have-
signed him like within the last couple of days or something like that.
Well, it had to be yesterday.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Anyway, but
he's probably on the practice squad right now.
getting reps and things of that nature probably. But how did you guys overall feel about Baltimore's win over Cincinnati in this case?
I mean, for me, it was as expected. I didn't foresee the Bengals winning this game at all. It might, and I will say that word loosely, it might have been a little closer had Burrow not gotten hurt. But I mean, the Ravens were going to win this one regardless.
Yeah. What about you, Roger?
I mean, the Ravens they're the best team that we don't really care about. I don't know, it's weird because I mean they're 8-3, but at what second is it gonna just crash like it always does? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
we're sort of expecting it not to be perfect for them anymore.
Right. They are currently right now the number one seed in the AFC. Followed closely right behind Kansas City, Jacksonville, and Miami. Of course, we'll get into playoff picture here in just a little bit. But we're going to move on to if I can go back here and find it. The next game, the Houston Texans and the Arizona Cardinals. The Texans beat the Cardinals 21-16 in a game where CJ Stroud didn't have his best performance, but he stuck it out. You know, he still threw 336 and 2 touchdowns, but those 3 interceptions could have come back and bite them. But at the end of the day, and Devin Singletary coming through in the clutch, with over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. Chip, how did you ultimately feel about the Texans win over the Cardinals?
This goes back to what Chad was saying, I want to say last week or the week before, with that interception statistic. So two of those balls were tipped balls. They into the receiver's hands out. So yes, he did throw 3 on the stats. It says 3 interceptions. One of them was a clear interception. The other 2 were deflections. So it still goes against him. But I think what impressed me the most is that Stroud, he had that bad game, but he still threw for over 300. Even after the interception, he was chunking the rock and making plays. It just, I don't, there's tons of upside. And I think
have
the
good
only,
short-term memory.
Yeah, and I think the only real test left on our schedule comes this week when we play the Jaguars for number one seeding in that AFC South.
Oh yeah, Roger, how'd you feel about this game overall?
Um, a lot closer than I expected to be, and CJ Stroud just had an unfortunate. I mean, he had a good game, but an unfortunate passing game because of like Chip said those two tip passes essentially. If it wasn't for that, this game probably would have been a lot different. I think the Texans actually probably would have had two more touchdowns, and it would have been probably 7-36 or something like that, wild like that.
So Kyler Murray coming back to play in this
Does
game?
nothing. We're not
Okay.
Chad. We don't
Okay,
blow off
okay.
Kyler Murray.
All right.
Yeah,
I
what's
wanted
so
to ask
funny-
if there was a difference, if there was a perspective on that, but
I mean, I think the Cardinals looked better with Murray under center, definitely. But he's not the world beater that Chad thinks he is. And I thought it was funny that Chad even picked the Cardinals to win this game because Kyler Murray was back. And I was like, come on, get out of here.
yeah, I think that's the only because I mean, like, they were winning when they had Joshua Dobbs. So, they were also losing when they had Joshua Dobbs. And Clayton Tune didn't really seem like he was going to be anything special anyway. So yeah, with Kyler come back, I guess it does give your team a little bit of an extra advantage because most people would take Kyler over Josh Dobbs and Clayton Tune. But at the same time, Kyler, I feel like
Kyler's just basically a running back.
Yeah.
It's not even that.
It's not even that what?
He's not even that.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that's not even. I thought you was going to continue with something.
No, like, he's not even that. Like he's a good player, but
yeah, I don't think he's as good as everybody hypes him up to be.
My thing is, he has the potential to be really good. But he's in the fortunate issue of being in Arizona, which has a shit coaching staff and a shit offensive line.
Yep. A lot of you got to have an offensive line in order to at least play somewhat decent in this game today. That being said, let's move on to the next game, the Miami Dolphins and the Las Vegas Raiders. Miami kind of winning by the skin of their ass, 20-13 in this game. Granted that we did get 3 interceptions defensively. Tua did throw a pick, but he did good, 325 and a touchdown. Tyreek once again goes off 10 for 148 and a touchdown. How did you guys feel overall about Miami's win against the Raiders? I think I already know where you're going to go with this. So,
well, I mean, it was a lot closer than it should have been.
That's what I was going to say. Yep.
Yeah, the Dolphins should have won this game handedly, and they almost gave up the win.
Yeah.
To the Raiders. So I don't know. This game was a wishy-washy game for the Dolphins, and I can't really pinpoint where it happened because, I mean, Tua did have 1 interception, but I don't know. It was just like they couldn't move the ball really.
They couldn't get the run game going.
Well, he had an interception and a fumble.
Yeah. The turnovers will definitely kill you. Which I mean, we held Josh Jacobs to 39 yards. But then the flip side, they held Mostert to 86, which I mean, 86 isn't bad, but it's not the plus Julian Hill and like you said a minute ago, Roger Tua also fumbled the ball. But Jalen Ramsey had 2 interceptions in this game, so there you go.
Best corner in history of football ever, period.
You said it. All right, so moving on to the next game on the docket. Let me find it real quick. The
Broncos beat the Vikings.
Yes, there you go. I was fixing to go there. The Broncos did beat the Minnesota Vikings 21-20 in a game that came down to the wire. An
amazing catch by Cortland Sutton.
Yes, that was a very, very good catch. A lot of people was like, oh, man, he didn't have possession of the ball when he went down. He has possession as his right foot touches the fucking end zone. Like, what are you talking about? But anyway, yeah. Roger, I'll let you start here. How did you feel overall about the Broncos win?
I mean, that's 3 straight wins for us. So I'm impressed that we're doing that good. Because, to be honest, didn't expect us to really be doing this good after how we started. It seems like the Sean Payton system's finally clicking and working for us right now. I'm not going to say that we're doing great. We're just winning. We're winning. That's all that matters right now.
Right. Chip, what about you?
I mean, this was, I thought, probably the best primetime game of the week.
Yep.
It was down to the wire. You had two teams that are really fighting for a playoff spot. They're fighting for a wild card spot. The Broncos are still in the hunt, and a couple more wins, and they're going to be right on, that seventh seed in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, definitely seven. Hell, maybe even 6th seed if they keep going on the roll they're going. Because remember back in what was it, 20?
I don't want to push it too much.
Yeah,
too
well,
far.
we're just
I know you don't want to. I know you don't want to push it, but think about this. And
I'll be lucky if we win 8 games.
I know Roger hates when I bring up Tim Tebow, but the year that Tim Tebow started for them, they were 1-5. And I'm not saying this isn't a pro Tim Tebow stance, so you guys can relax. All I'm saying is that the Broncos were 1-4 when Tebow took over, and then they turned into the number 1 rushing defense and the number 1 rushing attack, and ended up making the playoffs and then beating the Steelers in that playoff game. So the possibility for them to come back, because they're just 5-5, so there's still a possibility that they could go on a lengthy run. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go 12-5, but I am saying they can at least make a 7th, 6th at the absolute most in a wild card spot. It happens,
No,
but
we still have to face the Browns, Texans, Chargers twice, and the Lions.
Well, you can win 2 of those games, I think. If you catch one of those teams on an off day,
the Chargers we're going to go 1-1 with. We should beat the Raiders the last game of the season, so we're probably going to finish at an even 50% in our division. We're not going. We're not 7th seed. We're not beating the Texans. We're not beating the Browns defense. We're not beating the Lions. We're destroying the Patriots.
Yeah,
that's my Christmas gift.
I think nowadays everybody's destroying the Patriots the way they.
He said that's my Christmas gift.
Yes, on the 24th. On the 24th. Celebrate. But
absolutely.
Tell me how the fuck we beat the Chiefs and the Bills back to back, but we couldn't beat the Raiders or the Commanders back to back.
I don't know. That was
any given Sunday, man.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Any given Sunday, man. All right, but let's get to the I guess
power rankings.
Well, no, because we got one more game to talk about.
No,
the Philadelphia Eagles.
He's not here. He don't matter.
We still got to talk about it. Yeah. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Philadelphia beating Kansas City on Monday night, 21-17, in a game where really, they relied heavily on the rushing attack in this one. DeAndre Swift and Jalen Hurts both had, rushing touchdowns. Tua actually had 2 rushing touchdowns in this game. Pat Mahomes didn't play bad. I mean, he did have that interception, but his, statistics was kind of low in that regard. They did have to heavily rely on Isaiah Pacheco. How'd you guys feel overall about Philly's win over the Chiefs?
What was the play?
Was it the Valdez
Scantling?
No, that was fucking horrendous. But the roughing the passer call, that wasn't a roughing the passer call on Fletcher Cox.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a terrible call.
Yes, he led in with his head down, but he led in with his head where it would have hit the chest. And he had the 2 steps. That's not roughing the passer. You're allowed 2 steps to stop your momentum. He got to him and 2 steps. He didn't lead with his helmet. His shoulder was in front, and his head was at his chest level. That was stupid as shit.
Yep.
Well, that was like they in another game this past week. I think it was the Jacksonville, Tennessee game. I can't remember who it was that was making that. But there were 2 guys coming after Will Levis. Will Levis tried to get the ball off. He couldn't, and the one guy tackled him, and he was going toward his side, but the other guy kind of got tripped up and landed on top of the guy that was tackling Will Levis, and then they both landed on top of Will Levis. Oh, that's roughing the passer. And they called a 15-yard penalty and automatic first down. Like, how do you expect somebody to stop their momentum at the drop of a dime like that? The roughing the passer rule still pisses me off in some regards. It doesn't matter if it's my team, your team, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's still like, and now there's another report going on that now they're wanting to ban the like the hip tackle or something like that. They want to try to make it make
The
another
swing.
tackle. Yeah, and it's like, damn, before you know it, it's going to turn into flag football one day, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, you can't tackle, you can't. It's I don't know. What go ahead.
Well, I have a question. Since when has throwing the ball out of bounds been intentional grounding? That happened a
To Patrick
couple of
Mahomes.
times.
Well,
It definitely happened in this game. It happened
Yep.
in another game as well.
It didn't
And I
pass the line of
see-
scrimmage.
Oh, did it not?
No.
Okay, because it happened in another game, and I was like, I see quarterbacks do that all the time, and it's not intentional grounding, and I'm like,
It has to break the line of scrimmage. If they get out of the box, they still have to break the line of scrimmage.
okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
even though
thought
they
he-
make them out of the box, they have to, like, no matter what, it has
Yeah.
to go past that line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you're
I
out
thought
of the
it
pocket.
had. I thought it had went across the line of scrimmage.
Mm-mm.
So
Well, a lot of times a quarterback will just throw it out there just to, just to not take a sack. But if there's nobody within like 10, 15 yards of the general area that
It's
is throwing
5
it,
yards, which is stupid.
5. When did they change it to 5? I thought it was like 10 or 15.
I thought it was 5.
I
yeah,
thought it
I'm
was 10 or
pretty sure it's
15.
5.
Either way, but there's another one. Even if you're out of the pocket and you're like, okay, I'm going to throw this ball away, and you throw it down, if you're behind the line of scrimmage, they don't consider that a throw. That's a fumble if it's behind the line of scrimmage. So anybody can just pick it up and scoop and score. I think Zach Wilson did that one time. Either
So see.
was it this year? I want to say against who was it? Was it the Patriots or the Bills? It was one of them teams. But anyway, you looking it up now, Raj?
Yeah.
You big bad. All right.
Yeah. So while Roger's looking that up,
I'm just trying to see if there's
yeah. Our records for this week, we all tied at 10-4.
Which is weird.
Well, we missed various games here or there that made that possible. But yeah, all 5 of us went 10-4 this week. I thought that was interesting.
Very interesting. I think that is that the first time that's happened.
Yes, that's the
Okay.
first time.
All right. Yes. Or did we? No. We all did a sweep last year though too, didn't we? Or we all had the same record last year because we all went teams across the board. I think it was like week 16 or week 17 of last year or something like that.
I'm just talking about this year.
Okay.
I couldn't remember. You're asking me to remember too much.
So it doesn't even give you like how far away the receiver has to be. It just says in his general facility.
Within catching distance, I guess.
It's-
That's
Intentional
very
grounding.
vague.
Intentional grounding is a foul if a passer faces an imminent loss of yardage because of pressure from defense throws a forward pass without a realistic chance of completion. A realistic chance of completion is defined as a pass that is thrown in the direction of and lands in the vicinity of an originally eligible receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the ball does have to cross the line of scrimmage. It has to be within an offensive player's realistic chance to catch the ball. It doesn't say what the fuck that even means. If a loose ball leaves the area by the tackle box, blah blah blah. It has like 3 specific rules. It has to be out of the tackle box, past line of scrimmage, and within the area of a eligible receiver.
All right.
But you can still throw it out of bounds though.
Yeah, but as long as
Yeah.
it goes out of
As long as it goes past line of scrimmage and you're outside the pocket. That works.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, that being said, Roger, do you have a question for us this week?
You mean I have a quiz for you? Yes.
Okay.
Do you have your stuff ready to go? Locked and loaded?
Let's go.
All right. Since there's 2 of you, I'll do an easier one. Let me see. All right. Name the 7 rookie quarterbacks to beat Tom Brady. So quarterbacks in the rookie season to beat Tom Brady.
What?
What?
There's 7 quarterbacks in the rookie season that beat Tom Brady.
7
Okay.
quarterbacks in their rookie season that beat Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, I'll try it. Hang on.
Y'all make it seem like it's hard. There's only 7 in the history of the 22 years that he played and the 35 million people he's played in his career.
Right. Writing down every single Miami Dolphins quarterback that I can remember right now off the top of my head.
Oh.
So, I got 12 written down. So go ahead.
I'm letting you know now, not a single Miami Dolphin quarterback.
Then I'll go ahead and cross this off.
All right, I've got 9.
All right, Chip, go ahead while he's figuring out his game.
No, I got 10. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I got here you can see I got Big Ben,
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson, Brock Purdy, Geno Smith, Kenny Pickett, Eli Manning, Jared Goff, Patrick Mahomes, and Gardner Minshew. Those are the 9 that I could think of off the top of my head.
All right. So here's mine right here. I'll let Roger get ready.
All
right. I'm going to go. It's probably wrong. I'm going to go with Ben Roethlisberger. I'm going to go Cam Newton. I want to go Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, Phillip Rivers, Alex Smith, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy, Pat Mahomes.
So Chip got 5 of them right, and Talon, you got 3.
Oh, okay. Which 3 did I get right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So there's Big Ben, Russell Wilson, Brock Purdy, Geno Smith, Kenny Pickett, and then the 2 you forgot, Chip, I'm surprised. One was Colt McCoy, and the other one, Talon, you should know, Mark Sanchez.
I try to keep Mr. Butt Fumble out of my head for.
Hey, you can after that. Hey, before the butt fumble, that man was going to the playoffs almost every season.
Yeah.
They made the Jets relevant for a while. In a
For
good
a
way.
little bit.
In a good way.
And Colt McCoy was on the Browns when he beat Brady, right?
Yep.
That
was 47 years ago. I know, but
he was drafted to the Browns. Why was I thinking he was drafted somewhere other than the Browns?
No, he was drafted to the Browns.
He played everywhere. That's why.
Where? See, he's played for the Browns. He's played for the Texans. He played for the Cardinals. He played for.
Colt McCoy didn't play for the Texans.
Did he not play for the Texans?
I thought he was a backup for the Texans.
Yeah, I thought he was too.
No, he came from from Texas, but yeah, he didn't play for the Texans.
Oh. Okay.
He was a third-round pick.
Yeah, Browns, 49ers, Redskins, Giants, and Cardinals.
Sir, do not call the breadsticks anymore.
The breadsticks, sorry. That was his longest tenure with Washington from 2014 to 2019. Well, the breadsticks. That's the. I'm gonna add that name to the list.
He played
breadsticks. Cool.
Played 12 games in 5 years and started 7. What doesn't make sense? How do you play 12 games in 5 years and start 7 and go 1-6? What were you doing to other fucking games?
Yeah. He would
if he came in, if he didn't start the game and he came in late, the win goes to the starter, not him.
Yeah.
He was in Cleveland for 3 years. That's where he was drafted and started. Only played 24 games in 3 years.
I bet he still has a better win-loss record than Jamarcus Russell does.
He's 11-25, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Jamarcus Russell played 36 games.
9-22 was his overall.
So he played 31 games. He was on the same pace technically.
Yeah. But he had more wins. So. But all right.
Hit us with those power rankings.
All right. I just want to say this just because it makes me happy. The New England Patriots are now ranked 31 in the power rankings, so suck it. But moving on to our teams, the Denver Broncos almost because they're playing a video of something about Jacksonville. The Denver Broncos have jumped up 3 spots to number 17, and now
why?
I don't know.
Because
And
you
now
won 3 games in a row.
Yeah,
So, we're so ass cheeks.
maybe. So moving on to the top 10. At number 10, staying at 10 are the Houston Texans. At number 9, staying at 9 are the Cleveland Browns. At number 8, staying at 8 are the Jacksonville Jaguars. At number 7, staying at 7 are the Dallas Cowboys. At number 6, staying at 6 are the Miami Dolphins. At number 5, dropping 3 spots down are the Kansas City Chiefs. At number 4, bumping up 1 spot are the San Francisco 49ers. At number 3, bumping up 1 spot are the Detroit Lions. At number 2, bumping up 1 spot are the Baltimore Ravens. And, of course, the number 1 team is the Philadelphia Eagles. How y'all feel about this power ranking?
I'm sorry, the Lions barely beat the fucking Bears, so definitely not a top 3 team.
And I said it last week. I still think the Texans are ranked too high. Top 10. I mean, they're playing good, but I just don't see it. I mean,
Buffalo bumped up 3. Seattle dropped 1.
I mean, it's like most everybody in the top 10. The bottom 5 of the top 10 stayed the same,
Right.
And then the top 5, there was a little bit of switching around by 1 spot here or there, but I mean, the top 10 is still the top 10, and
What the top 10?
I still don't think that the Texans are a top 10 team.
Cincinnati dropped 6 spots.
Yeah, they also lost
12 to 18. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens when that situation comes.
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, power rankings are finished. Let's move on to week 12 this week. It is another week of Lions playing on Thanksgiving and Cowboys. So
that's in their contract. The Lions will play on Thanksgiving Day for all of eternity.
Yep. Good.
So we have 3 Thursday games this week, a Friday game.
Yep.
A bunch of
Friday one fucking trips me out.
Yeah. A bunch of Sunday games, and of course a Monday nighter. So you got a lot of time to watch football while you are off work. We're going to start with that first Thursday game. We got the Packers versus the Lions. Now, Detroit is a 7.5 point favorite, with the over under being 46.5. Gentlemen, where say you?
I'm going to go Detroit on this one.
Detroit.
They've been putting in the work, man. They've been doing everything they can to try to make this team relevant, which they've done. 8-2. I think this is the best start they've had in how many years? Since
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders years.
Yeah.
But you got to go with the Lions in this situation. Yeah, the Packers did good last week, but no, I mean, they're running up against a juggernaut right now, and I think the momentum's going to keep on going for them.
This Lions team is it's a clear indication of what happens when you keep your coach, you don't fire him after one shitty season, and you kind of let things play out. I've got the Lions winning this game as well. I just think, Green Bay is doing okay. They're 4-6. But you got to remember they're going to win that division. So
of course,
they're still going to somehow win that division.
Yeah.
I got the do what?
I was going to ask you, did you give us the over under already? I must have missed it.
Yeah, 46.5, I think.
Yeah, 46.
46.5. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Ironically enough, Chad actually picked the Lions to win this game.
But you better put his true intentions on there. You better pick the team he's actually going for.
And write it in ink.
Yeah.
Yes. Braden also went with the Lions, so we're Lions across the board here.
Awesome.
Moving on from there, we go to our next Thursday game. This is so the Lions Packers is a 12:30 Eastern game. Next is the 4:30 Eastern game, Cowboys versus the Commodores. Cowboys are an 11-point favorite, with the over-under being at 48.5. I just the Commanders, they're not playing terrible. They have offloaded some of their key players to better teams, and they're clearly going into a rebuild mode. But they're still fighting to win. But with that being said, I think the Cowboys win this game.
Yeah, Cowboys definitely win this game. I think the Commanders are going to put up a fight, but I mean, because it's like what we always talk about, the division rivalry games are always, you get amped up for those games. So yeah, I think the Commanders will play them tough, but I still think the Cowboys are going to come out on top and win.
Raj?
Yeah, I'm about to go with the Cowboys on this one as well. I don't know what it is, but the Commanders are doing okay-ish, I guess. But I still don't have enough confidence in them to pick them over the Cowboys. I mean, if it was like the Packers, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
They give away all their fucking players, so what are they going to be doing right now?
Right. Exactly.
Chad and Braden are also going Cowboys here, so nobody has faith in the Commanders in this game. Watch them come out and fucking win.
Good.
Right.
Good.
Right.
Good.
So moving on from there, it's our final Thursday game. This is the Thursday night game, so it's at 8:20 Eastern. We have the 49ers versus the Seahawks. San Francisco is a 6.5 point favorite, with the over under being at 43.5. I don't think that line tells the true tale of this game. 49ers are 7-3, and the Seahawks are only 6-4. And the Seahawks haven't been playing terribly. I just don't think with the addition of Chase Young to that 49ers defense, it's going to be hard to beat them defensively right now. So I'm going 49ers to win here.
I'm also going to go 49ers in this spot as well. I feel like the Seahawks have the capability to win this game, but you got to remember, like when San Francisco was on that 3-game losing streak, they were riddled with injuries. Like Debo was gone. There was a couple of other key pieces that were gone, and now those pieces are now back, and they added Chase Young to the defensive line. So yeah, there's going to be another division rivalry game. Again, I think they're going to play it close, but I got San Francisco winning this one.
Yeah, I want to go with San Francisco to win this one. They've got all their pretty much their best pieces back. Debo did come back. Christian McCaffrey still healthy. That's pretty much what you need on the offensive side.
Right.
No, that defense is just that adding Chase Young just adds such a bigger dynamic, because now you can't double team Bosa. You have to have somebody watching that gap, and it just makes it easier for both Bosa and Chase Young. Both of these nuts. But it makes it easier for both and Chase Young and who's the other fucking lineman?
Fred Warner.
He was
a linebacker.
Edge rusher, technically, but yes. A linebacker, yes. Yeah. But I mean, that's just a guy that can easily hit that gap as well. So now you have such a diverse blitz scheme with them. I mean, it's going to be kind of hard to beat the 49ers if they're not injured.
Yeah. Well, that was what we were talking about earlier in the season, is that we all thought that San Francisco was one of the scariest teams because they looked so unbeatable in the first couple of weeks. And it wasn't until after we saw those injuries start to accumulate, that's when we seen a whole lot of holes in the offense. And there were many people saying, well, is Brock Purdy really that guy? And, things of that nature. And, obviously Brock Purdy's been putting in the same work. Does it help that he has weapons like Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and CMC? Yeah, it definitely does help. If I'm Brock Purdy, I'm not apologizing for the offense that I've been given,
I mean, if you have a great team, what you supposed to apologize about?
Exactly.
You didn't draft a team, but you played for it.
Exactly.
I mean, that kid literally went from being Mr. Irrelevant to starter in a half a season.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
There were people saying that he should have automatically gotten the Rookie of the Year for that. I'm like, pump the brake. If Brock Purdy started week 1 and did this, then I would have been like, Yeah, he rookie of the year, but because he came on in so late, I can understand why people say that, but no, it would.
I said he should have.
Yeah, I agree. I think he should have. He did things that nobody would have thought he could have been able to do as the very last pick in the draft of that year.
Right.
San Francisco didn't think he could have done what he did, and they drafted him.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they were still holding on to Trey Lance at that point, right? They were still hitching the horses to him.
Trey Lance was named starter at the beginning of the year over Garoppolo and Purdy. I don't even think he was third string at the beginning of the year.
I think he was. I think they only had those two guys, and then they drafted Purdy just to have a practice squad guy they would thought he was going to be. But
look, you draft Purdy because if Trey Lance gets hurt again, or if Jimmy Garoppolo starts to suck again, you could throw it. Which it is what it is. But nevertheless, yeah, we all have San Francisco winning this one though.
Jimmy G's never been a horrible quarterback. What you talking about? He never let any team down.
Okay.
Yeah. Chad and Braden also going 49ers here. With that being said, we move on to the Friday night game or Friday afternoon game. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff. And we got the Miami Dolphins versus the New York Jets. The Dolphins are a 10-point favorite with the over-under being at 41.5. Does anybody see the Jets winning this game?
Fireman Ed, maybe?
Fire Marker Bill, maybe?
All right, so that's Dolphins against the across the board there. From there, we move on to our first slate of.
Oh, I'm not getting rid of the sign. It's going to pop up every once in a while.
We move on to our first slate of Sunday games. The first one being the where the hell is this game at? Saints
Atlanta?
versus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I was looking for it. I was looking for it to give you the over under.
Oh, okay.
So this is the Saints versus the Falcons. Atlanta is a 1-point favorite here with the over under. Atlanta is a 1-point favorite with the over under being 42.5. I think Atlanta's a 1-point favorite because it's being played in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. They're still ass.
Well, they're one game behind New Orleans. New Orleans is 5-5. Atlanta's 4-6.
They're not. They're not even zero. They're negative. They ass.
That whole division's ass.
No, there's
5-5, 4-6, 4-6, and 1-9. That division is the definition of mediocre.
Nah.
Yes.
They're just being weighed down by one bad team.
Well, no, they're all ass.
Well, anyway, I'm going with the Saints to win this game.
I'm going with the Saints to win this game too. I know Atlanta's at home.
That doesn't help them at all.
It doesn't help them at all. And
I don't think so.
You would think Bijan Robinson would have, and no disrespect, Chip, I know he's your Texas alum, but I would have assumed that he would have been able to do more at this point in the season. I mean, he's pretty much carrying the team on his back, but he can only do but so much.
There's there's no line for him. What are you supposed to do?
Nothing. Yeah, nobody's blocking for him.
Nothing.
I mean, you see when he gets outside the flat, he can make the plays.
Oh yeah,
he's running a 4-4 flat outside the flat.
Yeah.
When they use him, as a slot or whatever, he's breaking tackles like no other. But when you got no line to fucking block for you, it's just not going to happen.
That's something that Atlanta definitely needs to focus on in the offseason is beefing up that offensive line.
They should have done that this offseason. But
that's what they tried, yeah. But
we'll see
how much they did there.
We'll see what they do with this year's draft.
Right.
I don't have faith in it.
Draft another quarterback.
Right.
Right.
Probably. Trade up to try to get Caleb Williams.
He's not going to the draft.
Has he already said?
Yeah, he said he said a while ago he wasn't going to play. He wasn't going to go into the draft because of all the shit teams.
I mean, either which way, he's going to be on a shit team because whoever gets the first overall draft, unless a good team trades up, And it's like, we want that guy for sure.
Yeah. But most of the time, the good teams already have an established quarterback that they're going to ride for. I mean, I could see him going to the Rams, Southern California, connection right there. I figured he could probably still do something similar, but we'll see what happens.
All right. So moving on from there.
So Caleb
go
Williams
ahead.
is still undecided.
Undecided. Okay.
Yeah.
That means
This
he comes
late-
back to USC.
That's what this late in the season, this late in the season. What I mean, you got what, a month and a half left? Not even that much left.
I mean, the
Well-
Florida State quarterback that just got hurt, he already said, he's like, my college career is done. I'm going into the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Get that
he's
money
hurt.
when you can.
I mean, he's hurt though. He has to. Caleb
Yeah.
Williams not hurt, so
I think the Florida State kid's got another year of eligibility, doesn't he?
yeah. But I mean, I don't think he's going to risk it with already being injury prone.
Yeah, I
Or
wouldn't risk
being
it if I was him.
injured, not injury prone, but injured.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna stay for another year. Okay. All right, Lattimore, you can stay for another year. Rips your whole fucking knee tendons in half. Now you're
Yeah.
fucked.
Yeah,
You
fuck the
know?
balls.
Yep.
All right, so we move on to our next game. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, Pittsburgh is a 1-point favorite with the over-under 34.5.
Who did you say? Did everybody have the Saints across the board?
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to double check because I didn't hear that part. Judging by how which they just fired, the Steelers just fired Matt Canada as offensive coordinator. So that's 3 offensive coordinators that have been let go during season this year.
Not that guy. He's so good for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't, suggesting anything specific about that individual, but as far as here's the thing. This is one of those games where I don't know who to pick because Steelers, I mean, they're okay. And the Bengals, I mean, they just lost Joe Burrow. So
I'm going to go with the Steelers to win this one. I just think the upside, I think the Steelers have a better defense. We don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback for the Bengals. It could just be some trash ass dude. We don't know. So I mean, I kind of, when I made this pick, kind of flipped a coin because it's really a tale of 2 bad teams. And I say that about the Bengals now because they don't have Joe Burrow. So it's going to be hard for Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, if T. Higgins ever comes back to play again, to have someone reliable to get the ball to them.
Right. I'm also going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I just looked it up. I looked up Cincinnati Bengals signed quarterback, and he is former Arlington Renegade quarterback Drew Plitt.
I don't know who that is.
He played quarterback for the XFL champion Arlington Renegades.
I mean, I knew that, but I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah.
Can they be called champions if they don't finish the season?
I mean, no, this XFL season they actually finished the season of the XFL.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. The 2020 one didn't get finished due to that little virus that's been going around. But wait, AJ McKinnon? No. Okay, never mind. Well,
MVP?
Yeah. Where are you going, Roger? What'd you say you were going?
Steelers,
yeah. Is it Steelers across the board then?
It actually is not. Chad went Steelers and Braden went Bengals here.
Got to keep that house happy.
Yep, you got to keep that house happy.
Wait, who? Who went to
Braden
went
picked
Bengals.
Oh yeah.
So next up, I don't even know why we got to talk about this game.
What?
We got the Carolina Panthers versus the Tennessee Titans.
Fuck
Oh
yes.
my god.
Barn burner of the season, guys.
I'm just glad it's not a primetime game. I don't have to bitch about it.
Yet. We gotta flex that shit.
Bullshit.
Now Tennessee is a 3.5-point favorite with the over under at 36.5. What say you guys?
No. I
Uh,
honestly don't give a fuck about this game one way or the other. You know what? I'm just gonna say the Titans just because it's the team I'm gonna pick. Fuck it. I mean, Carolina's in the shitter right now. They don't have any. Bryce Young don't have anybody to throw to other than Adam Thielen, and how he's good for 3 quarters and then he's done. You know, the Titans, they have Derrick Henry and D Hop, but they haven't done shit this season. So it's like, you know, but fuck it. I'm gonna go Tennessee. You know.
All right, Raj.
do I have to?
I mean, are you gonna pick? Are you gonna pick Bryce Young or Mayo in his coffee?
Do I have to?
I mean, you can call it a tie if you want to. That's a you choice. Do you want me to tell you what Chad and Braden picked to help?
No, I'm gonna go with Tennessee. I'm gonna go with Mayo Coffee.
All right.
That's so gross, dude.
Chad,
have you tried it? Have you tried it before?
Dude, there's just certain food combinations that don't go together. I'm sorry.
Have you tried it before?
I've never tried mayonnaise in my coffee, but that's
there you go, man. How'd you know? How you know?
But I've never hit myself in the foot with a rubber hammer, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't like it.
You don't know. You haven't tried it.
Oh God.
Chad is going Panthers. Braden is going Titans here.
And who did you say, Chip?
Oh, I said the Panthers.
Okay.
You're going with the Panthers for real?
I am.
Mm-hmm. Remember, they're going to win the division.
No, I mean, they're definitely not winning the division. I did make that prediction. I'm not sticking with that. They're definitely not winning the division, but I think they're going to pull off the win here. The Titans just, they keep, every game they look worse and worse and worse.
They do.
So I just think.
How did we get to this point? Like, how did we get to that point? Because
they were a playoff team last year and they're absolute fucking trash this year.
Horrible.
So we move on from there and we go to the Buccaneers versus the Colts. Indianapolis is a 2.5 point favorite here, with the over under being at 43.5. I still have faith in Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. I think that they're going to pull the win off here. So I'm going Bucs.
Well, didn't Indianapolis just get rid of Darius Leonard?
Yeah.
Yes.
They cut him today?
Released him today.
I wonder what.
Or they gave him a snip.
Tuesday this week.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that's an internal conflict that we don't know anything about, because, I mean, he was one of the best players on their defense, so why would you let him go?
He could ask for his release.
That's a good point.
He very well could have, because the technical term they used is they waived
him. Yeah, so they could have. Yeah. He literally could have just been asked for his release.
Okay, but okay. Well, then I have a question. Then,
or salary cap issues coming up.
Well, that could be something too. But you said if they waived him, does that mean another team can pick him up off of the waves?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, in order for that to happen, does that mean that they have to agree to pick up the rest of his contract for the rest of that year, or his whole contract?
Depends on the waive stipulation.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not too keen on the technical aspects of the waiver wire. So
I mean, I'm not a sports agent, so I don't know the fucking stipulations.
Yeah.
Right. Golly. But yeah, I'm going Buccaneers with this one. I think the Buccaneers are overall better team, and especially without Darius Leonard on that defense, I think Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans will just carve up the defense. I think. Is Gardner Minshew still the quarterback for Indianapolis at this point?
As far as I know.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean,
I'm going to go with the Colts.
Colts.
Okay. He's going Colts. All right.
Chad also went Colts here, and Braden went Bucs.
I'm trying. I'm only 2 wins behind him. I'm trying to get the fucking lead.
I know. Next up, we have the New England Patriots versus the New York Giants.
All right, so next game is the Jaguars. We ain't talking about that fucking shit.
Hold on. New England is a 3-point favorite with the over/under at 33.5.
Okay, I can't do that because fucking.
How the hell is either team a favorite? I mean, this is
first of all,
pick'em.
Saquon Barkley still playing. They better put some respect on that man.
Oh man.
So with that being said, I'm going Giants here.
I'm going Giants.
I'm going Giants. Anything to get Bill Belichick out of town. Fuck him.
He's done.
You good, Roger?
You say that, but he's going to end up being the fucking offensive coordinator for you guys.
Why? Why do we?
Not for me.
No.
I will fucking
for the Dolphins. I mean,
that I could see happening.
You're trying to show? Oh bullshit! You're just shitting on me for no reason. At this point. All right, who did Braden and Chad say?
Chad said the Patriots and Braden said the Giants.
Either way.
So moving on from that game to the next, Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Houston Texans. So the Jaguars are a 2-point favorite with the over/under at 48.5. You guys already know that I'm rocking with the Texans. I just think they're on a hot streak. They're on a roll. Plus, they've already beat the Jaguars in Jacksonville. And the Jaguars they just beat the Titans pretty handedly, but that's the Titans. I think the Texans win this one.
Texans are definitely winning this game. And I feel like it's definitely going to be a reverse of because we all had the Jaguars running away with this division because the other 3 teams weren't good. And then it's like, Texans came out of nowhere with C.J. Stroud, and C.J. Stroud's been putting up good performance after good performance after good performance. Jacksonville, they still got Josh Allen. They still got a lot of good players on that defense that can contain him. But then you also look over at the offense of Jacksonville, and they still got good players that they can get the ball to as well. But again, like with any divisional rivalry game, I think it's going to be a tight game, but I got Houston winning this one. I think it's going to be close, but I think Houston's going to pull off the victory.
All right.
This one's actually tough for me because both teams are really good. Like Tom was saying, we thought the Jaguars were going to run away, but Texans came out of nowhere. Chip and I said that the Texans would be better than they were last year. We didn't expect them to be this fucking good.
No, not at all.
It kind of makes me regret switching the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans picks that I originally had. But
I mean, that's why we do them early so we can get shit on.
Yeah.
Packers are going to win their division still, but other than that, everybody else's prediction was wrong.
And just so you know, the Texans did beat the Jaguars by 20 in
last
Jacksonville.
time. Yeah.
Yes.
But weren't the Jaguars missing? I think it was one of their offensive linemen at the time. I can't remember.
May have been.
I know they had an injury that was. I mean, it's an injury is an injury. We're not asterisk and shit over here, but
no.
Obviously, it changed the momentum for how they were going to play. But I'm going to go with the Texans. This one was hard for me to really decide overall. Both teams are very dynamic offensively. Their defenses here and there show some hope, but this is going to be an offensive shootout. I think the Texans are going to edge it out. I also predict that Dameon Pierce is actually going to come out and do something really good this game. I feel like he might have his 100+ game this one.
Yeah, I think we get him back from injury this week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think he's going to come out and ball out. So
you
Chad
you still got to let Singletary cook though. He's been doing a damn good job in the running game for you guys this year.
Yeah. I'm not saying we bench him. I'm just saying, I could see a play where both running backs get 100.
Oh, two-headed monster.
Close.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Braden is also going Texans. Chad is going against the grain here and saying the Jaguars are going to win.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
I had a feeling that was
what a shock.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Cleveland Browns versus the Denver Broncos. Now, the Broncos are a 2.5-point favorite with the over/under at only 34.5.
I'm surprised they're the favorite in this.
I'm not. I'm not at all. The Browns are without Deshaun Watson. They're not starting PJ Walker. They're starting a rookie. I mean, he started last week or week 11, and he balled out. Dude did really good as a rookie. I can't even remember. He's got one of those 3
DTR.
Yeah.
Fucking drive that Ranger. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's the
David
thing
Thompson
there.
Robinson.
Yeah,
Like that? Or Donald.
it's Thompson Robinson, Darnell,
Hold
something
on.
maybe.
Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Dorian Thompson Robinson.
Yeah, drive that Ranger.
Yeah. But with that being said, the Broncos are on a they're on a win streak. They're looking really good. They're hot right now. I'm going with the Broncos to win this one.
They're the hot boys. The hot boys.
Yes.
They on fire.
This is going to be the one where I'm against the grain on this. I'm going to go Cleveland to win. Cleveland's just overall got a better defense, a more stifling defense. They just know how to get to the quarterback better, in my opinion. I think that I don't think it's going to be a blowout win. I think it is going to be very defensive heavy. I'm not so much worried about Russell Wilson versus the Cleveland defense, because I think they kind of match up in that sense, because, Russ, what they say, let Russ cook, right? I think it's going to be more about Cleveland's offense and Denver's defense in that regard. I think it's going to be close, but I still think Cleveland's going to pull out the victory in this game.
All right. Raj?
I think you know.
I don't think I know.
Oh.
See, I'm at that moment where I want to do the homer pick, but I still don't have confidence in my team. Yeah, we beat the Chiefs pretty well. We beat the Bills by a penalty. We barely beat the Vikings, and we went from the good teams to the bad team, and it's been a struggle the whole time. And most of those teams had subpar defense. Now going against a good defense, I'm going to go with the Browns still.
All right. Chad is also going Browns here. Braden is going to go with the Broncos. So we move on from that game to the next game. We got the Rams versus the Cardinals. Now this is where you're gonna laugh. The Rams are a 0.5-point favorite.
My God.
With the over-under at 44.5.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, you have that amazing quarterback, Matt Stafford, versus the other amazing quarterback, Kyler Murray. So,
yes.
Is Matthew Stafford back?
Pretty sure he is.
Or is it still the former Eagles dude?
Brett Wright? But
no, Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
It might be Carson Wentz. Who knows?
I think they're still saying it's Stafford.
Wentz. Oh, Stafford. Okay. Either which way,
who cares?
I'm gonna go with the Cardinals here. Probably against my better judgment, because they always fucking burn me when I pick them. But I'm gonna go Cardinals to win this one.
Yeah. Hey, I still had the Cleveland Browns quarterback thing on my Google just a second ago, and I didn't realize until I went back to click off the page. It says that former Baltimore Ravens quarterback Joe Flacco has been signed to the Browns practice squad. So that should tell you something right there.
Why don't these teams just go get fucking Drew Brees?
I know.
Hell, who knows at this point?
Try to fucking entice Tom Brady out of retirement or something.
No, let's get Drew Brees one more run.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's not like he was too injured to keep playing or anything like that. And he's not that. I mean, Tom Brady went into his 40s. Drew Brees can play in his 40s.
Yeah. Drew Brees also hasn't played a game in 3 years.
It don't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's Drew Brees.
It matters.
No, it's Drew Brees.
It matters.
There's certain guys that can come back and keep playing. Look at Gronk.
That's the Gronk's a different animal, dude. He's like what 6'12" and like 300 pounds, just can run like a fucking gazelle. Like, I mean, he's a monster.
We say
he ain't no 300 pounds. He's good to be like 220.
No, he weighs more than 220.
He's probably 240. He's a super muscular guy. Like he's got some muscles on him. But no, I think Drew Brees is one of those guys that can still come and play.
Yeah.
He was built at 6'6".
God damn.
256.
God damn.
That's what he was billed at, but he's not that now.
Well, obviously literally he's not that now. No.
I still think he's 230 because he's lean, but he's still muscular. That's a lot of weight still. Wait until he becomes 24/7 champion again.
Hey. All right, so you guys going Cardinals or Rams here? We didn't get that.
I'm going to go Cardinals.
I'm going to go Rams.
Rams. Cardinals.
I don't really have a dog in his fight.
Obviously, Chad went Cardinals.
Chad and Braden both went Cardinals.
God.
Just to piss Roger off.
Why? I went Cardinals.
Yeah.
I think to piss Chip off when the Cardinals win.
Oh, you mean when they fucking lose? I picked them. No, because I picked them too.
Oh fuck no! Damn, I'm gonna have to switch my pick then.
I mean, if you want to, you want to go Rams?
No, I'm still staying. I want to stay true to that Kyler conspiracy.
Yeah, the Kyler conspiracy. All right, we move on from there to the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Chiefs are a 9-point favorite with the over/under at 43.5. I am also going Chiefs.
I'm also going Chiefs.
I think everybody's going Chiefs.
Yeah.
That is correct.
That's an easy one.
We will follow that up with the Buffalo Bills versus the Philadelphia Eagles. What I find ironic is that the Eagles are only a 3.5-point favorite at home in this game, with the over/under being at 48.5.
Which is so weird to me because the Eagles are undefeated at home and the Bills don't win away this season. Haven't won away this season, I don't think.
No.
If anything, they probably won one game away.
Also, the Bills have not been playing like the Bills we thought were going to be the Bills.
The Bills lost at the Jets. They beat the Commanders. The only team they've beaten at home on the way is Commanders. They didn't even beat the Jets.
Okay. So I'm gonna go Eagles here to win this one.
They lost to the Patriots at fucking what? Okay, come on now.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Is this Eagles across the board?
Yes, it's Eagles across the board. I don't know. Roger got that look on his face like he want to take a chance.
I just want to know why this is not the primetime game.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm going to still go Eagles, but it's definitely the 3.5-point favorite sounds about right. I feel like it's going to be within a touchdown. I just don't know why this is not the fucking primetime game.
I don't know, but we move on from there to our primetime Sunday night main event, and we have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Chargers.
The Ravens.
Now,
Ravens.
Okay, Ravens across the board. No, you're fine. This one's gonna blow your mind as well. The Ravens are only a 3.5-point favorite.
They're 3.5 but they're 3.5-point favorite at an away team. So if this were a home, they'd probably be a 7-point favorite.
Yeah,
probably more than that.
And the over/under is 46.5.
Well, that's not bad.
I mean, the Chargers score; they just can't stop people from scoring on them.
Yeah,
right.
So I think that's actually a low. I think you could take the over on that one.
More than likely. Next up is our Monday nighter. This is a barn burner of another fucking primetime game. We got the Bears versus the Vikings.
We got Justin Fields versus Jada Pinkett.
Yes. Minnesota is a 3.5-point favorite with the over/under being at 43.5. I'm gonna go Vikings here. What about you?
Let me see.
Yeah, I'm going Vikings too. I can't see a scenario where I would pick the Bears to win any game for the rest of the year. Honestly, they might pull off they might pull off a victory against the Packers later on down the road, but no.
I mean, they could beat the Cardinals and the Falcons, possibly.
Possibly the Cardinals.
I'm gonna go Vikings too. Yeah. Until the Bears get an offensive line, it's hard to pick them over anybody besides the Panthers.
All right. So that was Vikings across the board. Chad and Braden also picked Vikings there.
Yes. So what's game of the week for you guys?
Bills,
Eagles,
Seahawks, 49ers on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Panthers, Jaguars, Texans for sure.
Yeah.
Bucks, Colts could be a really good one too.
Yeah. I honestly think that Broncos Browns game is going to be really good.
Yeah. I think it will be too.
Giants, Patriots, because neither team has good defense and shit offense, and Saquon may just run the whole time.
Yeah.
If he's healthy.
I would still take the under in that game.
33
way under.
I mean,
it's 33.
The Giants could do something very similar to what Michigan did and just run the ball the whole second half.
The whole second,
yep.
But no, it's 33 points, which means they're only expecting each team to score a minimum of 16 points each. So, I can see that happening.
I could see that being a very, very low scoring game. But yes.
Right. Well, hold on. I have a non-NFL football related question for you guys. Okay.
Non-NFL football. Okay.
It's college.
Okay,
football.
Cool. Go ahead.
Okay. So we have the college football playoffs coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the Final Four look like Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State.
Won't Michigan and Ohio State play each other before
They
that?
do.
They do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, as of right now. Okay, so we know one of those teams is getting knocked out.
Maybe.
After that, one kind of has to. They're ranked 2 and 3. They're going to have to drop at least 2 spots. 2 to 3 spots.
Remember, they still put Alabama in it last year.
That's true. So after them is Washington, Oregon, and then it goes Texas, Alabama. That's your top 8. Okay. So there was a scenario that was posed earlier today on Sports Talk, and Tennessee Vols receiver Brew McCoy laid it out like this. He said, if Alabama wins out and beats Georgia in the national championship, right?
The SEC championship, you mean?
Or in the SEC championship, yes. And Texas wins out and wins the Big 12 championship. Which of those 2 teams do you put into the Final Four? Texas or Alabama?
You put both of them because Ohio State and Michigan go against each other. One of them's dropping out too.
All right. So basically this is the scenario that you're talking about. Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, Washington, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, correct? Okay.
That is correct.
So, all right.
Now we already know that Ohio State and Michigan, they play each other last game of the season.
Yep.
Which will end up being for the Big Ten championship, I assume.
And pretty much a playoff spot.
Pretty much. And a playoff spot. Because both of those teams are undefeated right now. They are ranked number 2 and number 3. Georgia is undefeated and ranked number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Washington is also undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
And Oregon is also undefeated.
Okay, I thought Oregon got beat.
Did they?
Let me look at
so.
Let me look at the
no, you're right. They are a 1-loss team.
Yeah, they also Washington, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but they're ranked number 6. All right. So The scenario says Georgia loses the SEC championship, right? Florida State loses because they just lost their star quarterback. You have one of Ohio State or Michigan losing. All right. That bumps either Washington will bump up because they're undefeated.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Oh,
On what?
the most recent AP poll says, wait, is that all voters or we're just looking at? Yeah. One of the voters is Adam Cole. Bye. Anyway, according to the AP poll, it's got Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Washington, Florida State.
That one doesn't matter.
No, we're just looking at what you need to look at is college football playoff rankings.
Oh, so
okay. It's not the AP poll. The AP poll is different.
No, well, as of right now, Florida State just dropped out of the college playoff rankings. Washington is number 4.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So that's a new.
Okay, so let's flip this then.
I don't see why though, because the only team that Washington played this year is Oregon.
Maybe that's the reason why they got bumped. But then again,
Florida State plays Louisville and Clemson.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you put, if it comes down to one team going into the Final Four and it's between Texas and Alabama, they're both one loss, who gets that number 4 spot?
Rather right now, Florida State.
I would, yeah, because here's the thing with. Let's just say let's just go through the quick scenario, okay? Michigan, Ohio.
I just laid out the scenario.
I know. I'm just in my head. All right, so I don't think Alabama's going to beat Georgia, but if they do, they're the SEC champion, but they have one loss. Obviously, Ohio State and Michigan are going to play each other, and I think whoever loses that game is going to be completely out of the top 10 or out of the top 4. Then again, Alabama was number 1, got beat, and then ended up getting back in at number 4. So that scenario could happen as well. Man, I don't know. That this is very, very. It's different because it's like. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as of right now, if all the teams in the top 4 stay undefeated, quote unquote, Ohio State, Michigan will knock one will knock the other one out. That will give you Georgia, winner of Ohio State, Michigan at 2, Washington up to 3, Florida State up to 4.
Yes.
Even if Texas wins out, they're not getting in over those teams. If Georgia, even if like Georgia loses,
you have to think Florida State still has a game to play.
They have 2 games.
Okay, 2 games to play.
They got Georgia Tech and who else?
They have Florida.
Florida.
Yeah. They have Georgia Tech.
I thought they had. They may have already played. They may have already played Georgia Tech.
No, they
Georgia plays Georgia Tech.
Yeah, Florida plays. Florida State plays Florida, and then Louisville, who's also in the top 10.
Gotcha. Okay.
So they could lose one of those games. That knocks them out of that number 5 spot. Right. So the scenario that was laid out, Brew McCoy says that you put a 1-loss Alabama SEC champion into the Final Four over a 1-loss Texas Big 12 champion in. Okay.
Who was the only team to beat you guys?
Oklahoma was the only team to beat us.
And
were they ranked? Were they ranked at the time that they beat you?
Yes,
they were.
Okay. Who did Alabama lose to?
Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
In Tuscaloosa.
Yep.
Then that completely nullifies it. I would rather take a 1-loss Texas team over a 1-loss Alabama team, especially since that 1-loss Texas team beat that 1-loss Alabama team. That's simple.
Yeah, but the thing is, the playoff ranking calculator still puts strength of schedule in.
Hell, even with you. Okay, so let's go with the hypothetical scenario that Georgia loses to Alabama. Then obviously Ohio State. Let's just say, just for shits and giggles, Ohio State beats Michigan and they're number 1. Washington would probably move up to 2 at that point. Florida State, if they stay undefeated, will be at 3. And then you'll have to figure out that last spot. Now, I don't see Oregon going in there because Washington already beat Oregon. I don't see, and they're not going to be the whatever the fuck conference they're over in there. What's it?
Pac 47.
Pac 99. Yeah. And okay, so Oregon's kind of out of it. And then you have obviously, but here's an even different question. Georgia's number 1. If they lose to Alabama, is
I think
Georgia
they dropped to 4.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think they. You think they'll drop to 5?
Yeah, they'll be knocked out. They'll put Alabama over them, or they'll put Texas over them.
If it's a close game, does Alabama
doesn't matter if it's a close game.
Competitively, like that's what I'm saying. If Alabama comes out and puts a 50 piece on them,
doesn't matter because they still won the championship. Yeah. They won the conference.
I mean, hell, the year that Alabama played LSU in the national championship game, they didn't even play in the SEC championship and still made it to the national title game.
Which I think is
college
playoffs.
Weird.
Were they doing
no, this was during the BCS. This was during the BCS era.
That's what I'm saying. Because BCS playoff matters. The championship, conference championship matters, and strength of schedule matters.
Okay, well then we're looking at Big Ten with Ohio State. We're looking at Pac-12 with Washington.
Washington may still get bumped out.
If they're undefeated, I don't see the point.
Doesn't matter. Their conference is weak as shit. Oregon's the only team in that division. Oregon and Oregon State. And Oregon State's 3 lost already.
See, I don't really consider Oregon. When I think Pac-10, I think USC. I think people, but USC isn't even doing.
You may not exactly. You're proving my point.
I don't know. I just don't. I fail to see a scenario where an undefeated team does not make it into the the playoff picture.
Did it happen last year?
That defeats the point. That defeats the whole point of having a 4-team playoff. It defeats the whole point of it.
A 4-team playoff is a stupid fucking concept to begin with, but
yeah.
If they did it like they do like the NFL with 6 teams, then have those first 2 teams. But I get it. It's about the bowls. It's about sponsors and how many bowl games can we do, and when can we play the game? Because they normally play the first 2 games at the beginning of bowl beginning of bowl season. Then they have the national championship game the week after.
So in 2020, when the college playoffs were around, a 9-0 Cincinnati was the ranked number 8, did not make the playoffs, even though they were undefeated.
That's crazy. Were they the?
They won a division. They were 9-0, or the conference. Sorry, not division, but conference.
Yeah. Oh, that was the year that they went and they had a big bowl game, or one of the bigger bowl games, if you will, Peach Bowl or whatever the fuck it was.
I don't fucking know. Not off the top of my head. But my thing is strength of schedule, power conference. That's all that really matters at this point for any team trying to make it in. And Pac-12 is straight ass.
Yeah, it is.
They may have 2 teams in the top 10, but they're not stronger than the SEC or the Big Ten, so it won't matter.
I don't see in the scenario. I don't see I don't see Alabama beating Georgia, though. I think Georgia's still a way better team than Alabama is. I mean, I don't see that.
It's a hypothetical for a reason.
I know, and I'm just going through my own little thing. I don't see Georgia losing. I don't see Ohio State losing to Michigan. I don't. I think Ohio State's going to end up beating Michigan. I think Ohio State's going to beat Michigan, and then that moves Washington and Florida State up, provided they can stay undefeated, and there's your playoff. I don't see Oregon making it in. Texas has a good shot, provided that things go bad for Washington or Florida State. But if Georgia beats Alabama, there's no way. I would dare somebody to argue a 2-loss Alabama team making it into the postseason over a 1-loss Texas team. To me, that's egregious. But
maybe egregious, but it happens.
Unfortunately, yes, it does happen. I wouldn't. I mean, in the scenarios that we have, it's very interesting because then we can theorize and we can figure out how's it going to go. But at the end of the day, man, eventually the whistle's going to blow, and you're going to have to play the game.
Also, guys, remember that last year both Michigan and Ohio State played in the championship or in the playoffs. I mean,
really?
Yeah, and also.
Ohio State lost to Georgia, and Michigan lost to TCU on some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then Georgia
and-
just killed TCU in the
Destroy
championship.
TCU. Yep.
Destroyed them, dude.
Well, and if you remember the 2021 Alabama team, that was a 2-loss team, and they made it in.
Yeah, but there was only 2 1-loss teams, and that was Cincinnati. Even though the year before they got fucked over at being 9-0, they were number 4, and Georgia was a 1-loss team, and then everybody else was a 2-loss or more team.
I still don't. I disagreed with it then. I'll disagree with it now. I'm sorry. Like there should and they've made it clear cut. Like, hey, you have to win your conference in order to get in. Which I understand that. I mean that's what I'm saying. What it should be in a perfect world. This is what it should be.
Yeah, but you would have 3 power teams and 1 ass team every year.
I mean, sometimes those quote unquote ass teams can pull off upsets. It's
as
happened before.
TCU last year.
Yeah, it happens. So
As TCU last year.
yeah. Well, hell, I mean, when Boise State upset Oklahoma in
It wasn't a championship game, but it was.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It wasn't the national championship.
That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is that nobody believed that Boise State was going to beat Oklahoma back in 2007, and then they pulled the upset with the Statue of Liberty trick play.
I get that, but we are talking about playoffs. We're talking about the absolute best teams. We're not talking about a number 14 team playing a number 18 team.
Okay, so let's just say in just this particular scenario, if the Georgia Bulldogs beat Alabama,
they will,
I believe. If they win, even though Alabama has 7 teams, including Georgia, ahead of him, you would risk putting a 2-loss Alabama team in there over a 1-loss Texas or a possibly undefeated FSU or Washington?
I never said a 2-loss team would ever make it in. I said if Alabama beats Georgia, they're jumping up into the top 4.
Over Texas?
Yes.
I can't see that. I can't see a scenario where that's possible.
Back-to-back national championship team. Texas didn't beat the back-to-back national championship team in a scenario. Alabama did.
But you can't put Alabama over the team that already beat them, is what I'm saying.
You definitely can. They won their conference.
Did Texas not win? Did Texas win the Big 12?
Not yet.
Or they're playing, or they're playing for the Big 12.
They should
as of
be
right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
it's going to be 2 games.
Them in Oklahoma still probably.
Or is it West Virginia? But they're 2 games ahead of everybody else in the Big 12. Yeah.
Do you have any more games left on your schedule, Chip?
Do what?
Do you have any games? Does Texas have any more games left on their schedule?
Yeah, they have this week.
Yeah.
Who are they playing?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Okay.
Yeah.
So why the fuck can't I find college football here? Hang on a minute. There we go. Excuse me. Yeah. So according to this is probably going to be the week where a lot of people are going to be see. Okay.
I don't even know what only other Big 12 team that's in Kansas State? Kansas State up Big 12, yeah. Oh, Kansas State's second in Big 12 right now, even though they've lost 3 games.
That's so weird.
Is it Kansas State?
Yeah, they're second, but they didn't play Oklahoma this year. But they're second in the Big 12.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Kansas State is 19th in the college football.
So technically, as of right
rankings.
now, Oklahoma and Kansas State are both tied for second in the Big 12.
Yeah, 6-2.
Yeah, and they don't play each other.
Well, and the Oklahoma State are 6-2 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're
in the conference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so weird. So how do you decide that?
I think it'll go to Oklahoma because they have a better win-loss record. They're 9-2 overall, where Kansas State is 8-3 and Oklahoma State is 8-3.
Who does Oklahoma State play for their last game? Because it should be a conference game, right?
It should be a rivalry game.
It'll probably be Oklahoma. Probably.
Nope, Oklahoma's last game is TCU.
They play BYU.
BYU.
Okay. Talk about an easy way out this season.
Yeah.
Wow, they lost 45-3 to Central Florida. Holy shit.
Who?
OSU, Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Wow.
and
Wasn't expecting that.
Let's see. Oklahoma's last game is against TCU.
Yep. Who's not ranked?
No,
Kansas State
they're playing what? Kansas? No,
Iowa State. Yeah, I would say they're not playing anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But if this weird scenario, it'd be Georgia would drop out of the top 4 if they lose to Alabama. Alabama has to go in the top 4, pushing winner of Michigan, Ohio State up to 1.
Yeah.
Florida State probably to number 2. Washington, if they stay undefeated, number 3, and then Alabama number 4 in the scenario. Texas right on
Washington's in the Pac-12, is that right?
And there's the only team they play. Well, technically Oregon is another, and they're the top 10 team, but also Oregon State, which is a number 16. So they have 3 teams in the top 25.
So Washington plays Washington State next.
Yeah, and that should be an easy win for them.
Well, Alabama does have Auburn coming up, and the Iron Bowl games are, which Auburn. Well, I don't know. Auburn is 6-5, so that might be an easy win for Alabama.
They still have to play Georgia. They still have to play Georgia,
and then they still have to. Yeah, they still have to play Georgia. Georgia's only got one more game left before the SEC championship, and that's Georgia Tech. And that seems like it's going to be
both of them will have one team left.
Yeah, before they go, and then Florida and Louisville, like we said, for Florida State, I think that they can probably win out in those. I don't know. Florida might give them some headaches, but they can definitely beat Louisville. No, I don't know. Louisville ranked 10th. That might
here's the one big
thing.
Here's the one big thing. Ohio State and Michigan play each other this week.
Yeah.
They don't play an extra week like everybody else. So
So this is the Big 12 or the Big 10 championship.
Yeah.
And college.
The playoff contender.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm still going Michigan.
I don't know, man. My mind's telling me Ohio State. I think Ohio State. But then the question starts, if Ohio State wins and Michigan loses, does that knock Michigan completely out, especially if like an Alabama or a Texas or a team like that doesn't
because they didn't win their conference.
Well, it didn't matter. Remember, both of them made it last year with a 1 loss. I still think that Michigan could fall down to number 4 and Washington would go up. But depending on how Florida State does against Florida and the other team they play, who's the last game they're seeing? Louisville. If they beat Louisville, they beat Florida and Louisville, they're going to be number 4. Michigan drops to number 5. This year, the only way I see an undefeated team being on the outside is Washington because of how weak that schedule is, that conference is.
But if you look at the regular schedule for Michigan, they have only beat one ranked team all season.
Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
And they barely beat an unranked Maryland last week.
Yeah, I know. But with their coach not being there, I think it does a lot of difference for them. But only thing is, like I said, the Big Ten. Their conference is a joke because only three or four teams really are relevant. But they've made themselves such a power conference.
Yeah, I mean, you got Ohio State and Michigan, and then Penn State is at 11, and then I guess Iowa at 17. But that's it.
I don't think either team played Iowa. I think the Buckeyes put themselves up there by playing Notre Dame so early in the year when Notre Dame was ranked.
Yeah, because they've only beat 2 ranked teams all season as well. Number 9 Notre Dame and number 7 Penn State. That's what they were ranked when they played them.
Yeah, I mean, they lost to Penn State and then to an unranked Minnesota team.
So hold on, dude.
Ohio State. Ohio State hasn't lost.
No. I was talking about Iowa.
Oh, well, the thing is, I was winning the the West, but the West is so shit that that does not even matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, it's like just I don't care. It's going to be interesting to see how these next few weeks unfold and where.
Well, I mean, this week
everything's
will
going
be
to happen.
this week's gonna be the big decider.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely going to be a big decider.
Saturday will be the main event for the top five.
Yep. So,
I'm sure.
All right, Chip.
I'm sure it's a primetime game somewhere on Saturday.
It'll be the primetime game for sure.
Oh yeah,
It's gonna be actually it's a
on Peacock.
Noon
It's a noon game
on Fox.
yeah,
Fox.
it's the big noon.
That's interesting because normally NBC does the Big Ten games. That's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the big noon game. All right.
Gotcha.
Well, with that being said, please do not leave without leaving a like, comment, and share right here on Spotify and YouTube.
Anything you got to say, Raj?
Obviously leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to this on any audio platform, Spotify, Apple, Google, whatever, leave us a 5-star review. If you don't, I'm gonna shit in your bed.
Here we go. Always be shitting in beds. All right. That being said, also, we haven't done this in a while, man, but shout out to GaryAnime.com. Check out GaryAnime.com/movement radio. Use promo code Move Radio, MOVERADIO, and you get free shipping here in the United States. Thank you guys for tuning in. And what are some of your predictions? What are some of the comments that you guys might have? Leave it, drop a comment below. Let us know your predictions. Let us know if we're right, we're wrong. And if, Roger don't like a comment, he'll come shit in your bed. Anyway, that being said, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Also, shout out to all of our friends that's been down with us since day one. You know who you are. Check us out on all of our platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. And make sure you check out streamlabs.com/movement radio /merch and go copy some merch from us. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We'll catch you next time.
I am Chip Hazard.
I'm Talon Williams.
And I'm Roger Sierra. And just for you guys to know that